And we're live. There we go. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Good. How are you, Reagan? Good to see you.
Well, can't complain. All right, well, we're hitting that 1 o'clock mark, so we can go ahead and get started if you're ready.
Okay, well, we're ready to go. Welcome to part 2 of the portrait mode. This is a 4-part series where we are going to talk about the importance of your portrait and some tips on how to better your business, how to be a better person, a better version of yourself. You know, we're finishing up the year here. It is already almost the end of October. So we've got to start planning already for 2025 to have a successful 2025. Today, we are going to talk about decisions. Now, one of the reasons I think the portrait on the wall is so important and why I encourage everybody to put their portrait on the wall is because you are in control of every decision that you make. You can look at where you are today and the things that you have and the things that you don't have, and you can call them back to the decisions that you've made in your life, good or bad. So we're going to talk a little bit about decisions today. I believe that you are the CEO of your own world. That's why you should have your portrait on the wall, and that you should understand when you look at that portrait that you are in control of your decisions. Do not make excuses. It's not the market. It's not the business. It's not the camera. It's nothing else. It all, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Now, we make a lot of decisions on a daily basis. A lot of those we don't even think about. We walk through the kitchen. My office is here. I have to walk through the kitchen to go to the restroom. Oftentimes, there's food on the counter, and I will grab a snack if I don't stop and think about it. Now, my goal is always to lose weight, try to eat healthy. I call this a heads or tails decision. So that's the first thing we're going to talk about today. These simple decisions that we do every day, okay? And we don't even think about it. If you're working on your relationship with your kids, if you're talking to them, stop, think heads or tails. I'm going to use my head or my tail is going to be in trouble here. That might be more important with my wife. Same thing with food. I'm going to use my head. I'm going to walk past that donut, or my tail is going to get bigger. Now, some of you are maybe still young enough to go to the bars and hang out. Maybe you need to get your tail out of the bar a little bit earlier so your head doesn't hurt as much the next day. Just thinking to yourself, heads or tails, when you go to make a decision is enough to take you out of that mindset. Man, the snooze button goes off, heads or tails. What am I going to do? Am I going to use my head? Am I going to get out of bed? Am I going to be productive? Or is my tail going to stay in bed and lose another hour of time? So heads or tails is just enough to make that decision. There's a great book by Mel Robbins. It's called The 5-Second Rule. Very similar concept, very much where I got this, but heads or tails is the way I think about things when I'm making decisions. We'll keep that there for a minute. Now, one of the things that I run my business on, it's it's 3 words. Connect, create, and repeat. So one of the things that Photo Day makes it great, makes it ideal for us is the ability to repeat. We can do things over. I can do so much more today than I was able to do before because of the back end things, because of all the resources that Photo Day provides us. Creating, we're all great creators. You guys are amazing photographers. You can do amazing things. We get some atmosphere. We get some lights. We can create amazing images. But we're working backwards. If we don't have anybody to create images for, none of this happens. And that's where the connection comes in. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today, that connecting part. Now, I am from a sales background, and I know of something called POCs, which is a point of contact. Every day, I have a goal of 7 POCs. That is my standard. Before I finish my day, I need to have 7 points of contact. Now, that's not only new customers, that's not only new business, but that might be reaching out to an ambassador of a league that we've done, somebody I know who is out there promoting us and creating things. It might be a thank you note that we send to somebody who is a PD 100. It's great that Photo Day lets us know who those PD 100 customers are. You can print out the addresses, print out a list on Excel, and you can reach out to your PD 100 folks with a thank you note, with a coupon code, with a sticker. those kinds of things. It's like these unexpected touches and these POCs that are going to help drive your business. So those POCs for me, those 7 POCs are the standard, and those are how I connect to my customers, my future customers. We have a lot of business things going on at J7 Images. There's other business ventures besides the volume photography industry, and I use that standard of 7 POCs to remind me that, hey, it's not just editing, it's not just the photo session I have later, that I have got to keep generating business and keep things coming in over time. Those 7 POCs become my standard. And one of the reasons, we talked last time, we mentioned K-State football, right? Some of you got excited. I saw some people in the chat. K-State football is doing very well, much better than my Missouri Tigers fared this weekend. But one of the reasons that K-State football is how they are is they have something called standards over feelings. This standard over feelings is this. When you have 7 POCs to do and you don't feel like it, you still do it because it's a standard. Now, the other day I was doing my POCs. I called an MVP volleyball company. They had called me, and I booked an 18-person league right off the bat. First POC of the day. Fantastic. Jump for joy. It's in December. We don't have a lot of leagues in December. It's going to be a Sunday in December. I'm super excited. We're going to sell a bunch on photo day. Hello, Christmas. It'll be great. But the problem is I can't stop there. I can't just stop because I had a little bit of success on my first POC of the day. I've got to continue to do those other 6 calls, those other 6 thank yous, because that is the standard. So standard over feelings. Whether you don't feel like doing it or you're super excited because you had some success, you have to continue to do the work to proceed. Okay, so that's standard over feelings today. Now, we started off this whole thing, we were talking about decisions, and I tell you, this is going a lot faster than it did in my head. So this might be a quick lunch for you today. But decisions, right? I was thinking about the portrait mode. I had the chance to speak at Miller's Lab 2 weeks ago. Thank you to the team at Miller's. They're a great lab partner of Photo Day, and spoke to the leadership team. And Paul Rotter, the director of marketing, and I are having a conversation. And I said, Paul, the portrait mode, we're making a big decision. So imagine you have a big decision. You get done with that decision, take a portrait or a selfie in portrait mode and keep that on your phone. If the decision goes really well, because we look down the line, we made a decision and things work out and they're going really well, you can look back at that moment to where you made the decision and go, okay, this is where I was. I made this decision. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about that. And that's how this went well. It's kind of like game film, right? We just had an NFL Sunday. Everybody on an NFL team has game film that they can go watch and see the decisions that they made so they can evaluate it. If it was great, they can do it again. If it was bad, they can fix it. They can make adjustments. So sometimes we need game film for our own decisions. That might be as much as recording a little video to yourself and going, hey, I'm about to decide to do this for my business. Here's what I'm thinking. This is why I'm going to do it. And here's what I'm going to do. And here's what I think is going to happen. You make that, you save it on your phone, you go back and you can, over time, and you can come back to that point. Now, if the decision goes horribly wrong, you can also come back to that point. Imagine the Chicago Bears fans today, okay? 2 seconds left, Hail Mary goes up in the air, they tap it in the air, and the Washington Commanders, win the game. All right, they can go back to that film and go, okay, what did we do wrong in this situation so that they can recover from that? And we can use the portrait mode on our phone as game film of that. Pictures today, they can be proof. Somebody leaves an Amazon package on my steps. What do? They take a picture of it and they send you an email to show you proof that they've done that. So for portraits, for the portrait on the wall, for the portrait that's in your phone, for that portrait mode, that is proof that you are moving in the right direction, that you're doing the things to be more successful. And then on a day of doubt, when you're like, man, I'm just not there, I'm not making it happen, you can look at that portrait, you can look at that selfie, and you can be like, this is proof that I'm moving forward and that I'm going in the right direction. So that was a short one today. I'll try to bring more, but I can open up for questions. If anybody has anything that they want to answer, that they have questions on, Reagan, if you've got something you want to bring to the table, if anybody has anything in the comments.
If you guys haven't checked out part 1 that we hosted at the beginning of the month, that is located on our YouTube channel. You can also hit up the bubble if you want the direct link, and I'll post that here in the comments as well. Fantastic webinar. Jake did a great job on that one as well. We're going to be hosting part 3 here next month. That is going to air on November 26th, same time. I'm going to go into some deeper things, maybe talk holidays and getting ready for, the big seasons out there. Jake, fantastic job today. You always put a smile on my face every time I get to chat with you. So it's a pleasure being able to do these with you. Doesn't look like any questions in the chat. If you guys do end up with any, feel free to reach out to the bubble. We can also get you connected with Jake as well. I'll pop up his contact information here.
Yeah, reach out to me if you have questions, if you think about things, if you're trying to make a tough decision and you want some tips, if you want a link to the 5-second rule book or any other resources on the whole decision-making thing. I decided to keep that pretty quick. I thought it would last just a little bit longer. I might have left out a couple of things, but if you want to talk about POCs and some of the stuff that we do at J7 Images to grow our clients, I think there's a lot of value in unexpected touches. People may not expect to get a handwritten thank you card from their $100 order, but you could do through Photo Day, you can do a custom code with their last name and a 10% value. There are so many things within the Photo Day system that you can utilize to really customize things and make it a personal touch to those customers. That's probably the one thing I missed when we were at Miller's. I was speaking and I missed delivery day. If there's any drawback to Photo Day, it's that we do not have delivery day anymore. It used to be delivery day. You go, you'd have these big boxes of pictures. I would always have my ambassadors' kids' pictures on top, so I could hand the box and I'd be like, oh, here's your pictures, and you could see their face and you could get their reaction. I do miss that a little bit. So these thank you cards and these ways are things that you can do to connect. Maybe it's even as simple as a text to your main ambassador and say, hey, how's Billy's soccer team? How's their soccer season going? If you can associate an athlete with the ambassador and you can use first names and personalize that, that is huge, especially if you're in a text or something. You know what kids belong to what ambassadors, and if you don't, take some time to figure that out. Because if you can bring up their kids or that kind of thing and say, hey, I just hope Billy's having a great season, or I wanted to reach out to you, or I saw Billy was in the paper. We just had our youth football team. They won a Super Bowl championship. We made a post. We're going to do some custom posters for them as a giveaway. Just all these little unexpected touches will help grow your brand. They will help grow your business, and they're going to result in more sales on Photo Day.
Going that extra mile is always so important. Building those relationships is a beautiful thing.
And look, it's a decision that you have to make. You can decide, hey, am I just going to run my business like everybody else? Am I going to be like everybody else? I'm going to go take pictures, put them on Photo Day, cash the checks, or am I going to decide to go that extra mile, do the unrequired steps? Am I going to decide to uphold my standard over my feelings and go and get it done?
Get it done. This makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. Thank you so much, Jake. I love the way that you speak about your business and our business and how much you love Photo Day. It really does mean the world to us. Any other closing thoughts before we shut it down?
I think we're good. I hope people are watching on the replay. Please watch part 1 if you haven't already. I think there was some good content in there, and we will gather some more information for part 3.
See you guys next month.